Hello everyone and welcome to my critical let's play of Bioshock Infinite. In this video I'll be talking about the former elements and dramatic elements of the game. I'll also be addressing the game's core mechanics and dynamics as well as the NPC behavior. So I'll talk about the AI that's featured in this game and how it works to help you or how it works to impede your progress. So the first formal element I'll be talking about is the interaction pattern. So this game employs what Fullerton will refer to as a single player versus interaction pattern. So that's one where the player competes against the game system, and in this case, the main source of conflict are the enemy NPCs. So for example, this guard and the robot sentries that are flying above me. So they work using state machines, and they generally have three states. So there's the neutral, alerted, and attacking state. So right now, as you can see, he's ignoring me, so he's in the neutral state. So he wouldn't do anything to me until I disrupt the environment by, let's say, shooting into the air. So now he's transitioned into his alerted state, and this one is already in the attacking state. So yeah, they'll usually remain in this state until I'm dead or until they're dead. So what's worth noting is that these guards typically won't follow me once I fall out of their line of sight. But once the guards are alerted, they don't like. Once the guards are alerted, they usually stay in that state until something happens to them. So yeah, the game also has dramatic elements. So those work to engage the player emotionally, and one of the most important dramatic elements is an AI called Elizabeth. So we'll be introduced to her in a bit. So Elizabeth is what Fullerton would refer to as a round character, in the sense that she has well-defined traits and a personality that evolves over the course of the game. So Elizabeth helps push the story along through your interactions with her, and she also provides the game's emotional core. Elizabeth has the ability to open rifts in space called tears, and it makes for an interesting game mechanic because like she can use that to bring in supplies for you, such as ammo, health, and salts. And it can also be used strategically because she can bring in like weapons and stuff. So you can see this is one of the ways that she also pushed the story forward. Like now, she's getting kidnapped. You saw her getting kidnapped. So now you know that the next logical thing for you to do is to rescue her. The game also reminds you of this using banners, as you can see above. It also has a UI element that you can use to point yourself in the right direction. I thought this was an interesting choice because they use that instead of a minimap, so you only need to use it when you don't know where you're supposed to go. Instead of having a map that's at the bottom of the screen all the time. So this helps maintain flow as players don't need to keep looking down at the corner of the screen to know where they need to go. And I thought that was an interesting choice. So in addition to the traditional first-person shooter mechanics, Bioshock Infinite also has what they call vigors. So those are supernatural powers. As you can see here, I'm levitating these guards and shooting them in the air. It makes for a good game mechanic because it allows players to have variety in their gameplay. For example, as you can see, there's a motorized turret over there, so I can use the possession vigor to take control of it. And what that does is that it makes the machine start attacking its allies. So it provides a distraction for me to take them out, as you can see here. Well, eventually that runs out, so I'm gonna have to take care of him. So since Elizabeth is going to accompany you for majority of the game, the developers thought it was a good idea to make her as believable as possible. And a believable character is what Veronica Zemido would define as one that allows for the suspension of disbelief. And she lists a few characteristics that make up a believable character, and Elizabeth shows them as the game goes along. So as you can see right here, she just opened the rift in space to stop you from falling. So two of these characteristics are kinetic, which indicates how the character moves, and emotional, which explains like the character's emotional aspects and her personality. So as you can see here, Elizabeth conveys her emotions through her facial expressions, the tone of her voice, and her movements, which seem pretty human. So there's no ambiguity in this scene as to how she's feeling at the moment. Like you can see from the look of her face and tone of her voice that she's clearly upset. As for her movements, they tried to make those realistic as possible by using facial and motion capture techniques instead of traditional animation. So as you can see here, she runs like a real person. So arguably the most important characteristic of a believable character is the cognitive aspect, which explains the character's knowledge of their environment, how they perceive it, and how they plan and react to it. So Elizabeth is pretty smart when it comes to as far as AIs go. She will usually point things out in her environment that she finds interesting. If she finds like coins or anything in the immediate area, she would point them at you or toss them to you. Um, right now, as you can see, I'm asking for help to help me open the door. Yeah. As you can see right here, she's pointing me in the direction she thinks I should go. She's telling me about the service elevator. So that's one way that she acts as a partner. So instead of just being like a companion that just tags around for most of the game, she actually helps you achieve your goals. Okay. So as you can see that she's advising me on what part of the enemy sentries to hit if I want to like avoid them. And yeah, I messed up right there. So yeah, that's an example of her tossing me ammo. So she saw that I was running low on bullets, and she decided to help me. And she's right now as I'm fighting, she's helping me search the environment for items that could help me. So yeah, she's never just like sticking around. She's never useless. She's never just like hanging around doing nothing. She actually tries to contribute where she can in the game. So as you can see there, she went searching for something. And right now she's helping push the story along by providing exposition. So right now she's explaining her circumstances and how she found herself in the position she's in right now. And you can see a statement there, I just want to get out of the city, please. So that just gives you a clue as to what you should be doing next, which is getting her out of here. Okay. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and a comment if you found it interesting. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.